C language. What was the language before B? What was the languages before different generations of the computer? As you know that what are the different languages of the computer? When we are talking of computer language, there are more than, suppose we can say that overall 10,000 languages overall. Out of that, computer languages are there. Some are computer languages, some are the generation-wise languages. When we are talking of that in which generations basically the languages came into existence. So that point of view, we have to see that what is the importance of the C language. Why C is called as a mother of all languages. That means when we have Unix operating system or even Python, latest Python language, that is written in C language. Most of the hardware can be made live with the help of C programming. C programming is used to make hardware devices live. That means they can communicate with your different devices. They are acting as a device driver, and that device driver is basically software. That software is written in C language. That software is written in C language. When we are talking of the C language, why Dennis Ritchie is there? That in the year 1972 at AT&T Bell Laboratories in USA, he has developed that language. But it has some grammar. It has some grammar. And that basically the grammar of any language is called as, or that grammar is called as a syntax. Syntax and semantics, these are the words. When we say that syntax means some rules that every language has to follow while writing in editor. It has to follow some rules. And that all the rules of that particular language, because you know that languages are different. They have different grammar. Some are case sensitive, some are not. Some are written in particular column. Some are indented, some are not. Some to be written in some specific format. Otherwise, they will not accept the input. That cannot be processed for the output. Compiler gives you error. And basically, errors in computer terminology is called as bugs. And in order to rectify or in order to delete the errors, we call it as a debugger. The software is called as a debugger. So when we have to see about the C language, we can develop software with the help of C. Then again, you know that what is the basics of software. It has been thorough to you that what is now software is. Now what is the hardware, you know it very well. The parts of the computer which we can touch and experience. We can develop software as well as for the use of the device driver, for writing the operating system, suppose Unix operating system or different languages, just like when you have C hash or Unix operating system or even Python latest operating system, that is written in C language. Then what is the importance of the C? Why this C language is so important? Why the C language is so important? That we have to see. When we have to see that what is the importance of the C, then I am sharing one why it is called as a mother language. Why it is called as a mother language. When we say that mother language, why it is called so mother language? Because language is considered as a mother language. Why we call our CPU inside board is called as a motherboard. Why it is called so? Anybody from the class? When I call that board as a motherboard, not as a fatherboard. Why C is called as a mother language? Because most of the compilers, most of the virtual machines, either it may be a Java, either it may be a Python, that kernels of that language, compilers, JVM, kernels, they are written in the C language. They are written in C language. And most of the programming language follow syntax of C. Most of the programming language, that may be a C++, C hash, Java. Java basically is when you are in the second year, you will learn Java. But in first semester or second semester, another group has to learn the C language for first year. When we say that C is a mother language, that means what? Most of the languages operating system, an operating system has kernel, some are the compilers, somewhere we say that Java virtual machine, most of the things that are written in C language. That's why even 80% of the Unix operating system code is written in C language. When we say that, as it is the so popular language still also, right from 1972, you just calculate that over the 50 years period, still the C language is so popular because every language follows the grammar of C. Every language follows the grammar of the C. Okay. When we say that C as a system programming language, a system programming language is used to create system software. As already told to you that C can be used as a language to develop the software. And it can be also very useful in low-level programming language. Low-level programming language means what? Just like making the device drivers of different devices. Unix, Linux, all that operating system kernel has been written in C language. Most of the device drivers, as you know that device drivers is what? In order to run that devices, it requires some software to communicate. And without which that device cannot work. Just like a keyboard has to work. Just like any device you connect to your computer, that device has to work. Just like in order to run your bus, it requires some expert driver. So in order to run the device, some device drivers are required. Okay? That device drivers are basically called as what? My voice is clear or not? Yes? Okay na? Okay आहे का? Voice? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please give me confirmation when I am asking. When we call C as a system programming language, these are the features that when we see that C is a mother language, C can be used as a system programming language, it can be used as a to make the different device drivers. Most of the operating systems are designed in C language. Operating system means what? It's kernel. Its inner core programming is written in C language. And it can't be used for the internet programming language. Basically, C can't be used. Whatever the C language softwares are developed, nowadays also, C hash and C++ and C, they are most popular languages in the field of banking sector, where basically execution is important, security is important, and C is also called as a procedure-oriented language. As you are writing something, when you are writing something some code or some instructions in the editor. A procedure is known as a function. Basically, when you have to follow one procedure, if suppose I ask you to follow the procedure of admission or procedure of registering yourself, so procedure is known as some function in our computer terminology. We will see that what is the function, what is the method, what is the routine, subroutine. Because procedural language is what it specifies a series of steps of instructions, and that step-by-step instructions of the program to solve particular task. Procedural language does what? It breaks the program into functions, data structures. Like that, when data structures, functions, you simply remember that C is a procedure-oriented language. Because we have to give the step-by-step instructions in C with some syntax, with some rules. C is also called as a structure language. Structure means what? Structure means to break a program into parts or blocks. When we are dividing one program into small parts, it is subset of that procedure. Then it will be easy to understand. It will be very easy to read. It will be easy to find any bug. If suppose you are writing a program and you don't find anything that at what line the errors are there. That's why it is a structure program. C language is what? Structure programming language. It is a subset of procedure-oriented language. C is also called as a mid-level programming language. Why it is called as a mid-level programming language? Because it supports the low-level language. Okay? And you can develop a software in that C also. You can develop software in C also. That's why we call it as a mid-level programming language. We consider as a mid-level programming language because it supports the features of both low-level and high-level. Low-level म्हणजे काय? की तुमच्या हार्डवेअरला लाईव्ह करणारी एखादी लँग्वेज. इट इज स्पेसिफिक टू मशीन. बेसिकली इट इज मोस्टली machine understandable language. It's a machine dependent. When binary language program and high level language program, which program will be fast?
Binary.
High level.
If program written in high level language will be fast, or program written in zeros and ones, that is binary level, that will be fast. Because C is what? It's a machine specific language. Don't consider that it is a 0 and 1 language. It is no doubt it is a high level language, but it is a machine specific. And it is important to make that hardware live. That's why it is also called as a mid-level language. Because with the help of C, you can develop software and you can make your hardware live with the help of device drivers. C follows some rules, and the rules that are there in the C language basically are called as syntax of every language. If suppose you have heard this as how I am writing program, that we will see later on, but you remember that why I am writing program, where I am writing that program, why this hash should be there, include stdio.h in angular bracket, void main, what is this print? It is completely new to you. It is completely new to you. So, then basically we have to see that first of all you have to go through that basically that what you understand with the features of C. What you can understand with the features of C. Why C is called as a mother language. What is the procedure oriented language? Why it is also called as a high level language. Why it is supporting the low level. Why it is called as a structural programming language. Who has invented C? Where basically C has been invented? At by which lab the C has been invented? What is the year? Before C language, what was there? Before C language, when you have a B language, that was developed by Ken Thompson. That was developed by Ken Thompson. When all these things, basic things that are important for you, that you have to remember that basically why and what is the importance of C right from 1972. Right from 1972. When we have computer programming, we have just taken the things, what do you understand by the program? What do you understand by the program? Program is what? It is a step-by-step instructions given to computer. It is an executable statement that we are giving step by step, and that statements are executed by computer. That means you are writing that executable statements or instructions in which language? High level language. My question was, program written in binary language will work more fast or program written in high level language? Definitely the program written in binary language or machine language. But persons, those who are writing the program in binary language or machine language, they will be more expert, because everything will be in zeros and ones. How one can know that where the error should be there? He must be so expertise. As you know, then in the first generation computer, what they have intended to be. Right from the second generation, we observe that different computer languages came into existence. In the third generation, we have seen that entrance of the microprocessor. So when we have to just think of programming language, and this is the basic programming language on which all your foundation of the programming language is built. So this is the basic things that you have to learn from the scratch. When you are learning that, what is basically the C language itself is? What is the understanding the concept of C language? Then we will see that basically what are the data types supported by C? What are the identifiers? When we are thinking of C, when we are thinking of the C, as you have to think that where basically the importance of C, where I can apply. What is the applications of C? What are the features of C? When the name given to that language is C, because earlier version name was B. As you know that every version is changing. If suppose Windows 9 point, suppose Windows 95 was there. Windows 98 came into existence. Windows 2000, Windows Millennium Edition, Windows 2003, and right now you are using which versions of the Windows? And whatever installed in your laptop. Suppose 2010, suppose. Just like that, Android operating system. What was the first version? That is written as 1.x. First version 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, 1.2, like that up to 1.9. Then next version is 2, 2.1, 2.2, like that, 3 points. So when you are going some changes in that language, some upgradation in the language, that is called as a version. As you are entering into the engineering, before that you are in the 12th. Now you have entered into the next version, that is engineering. Engineering, suppose 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. That will be your 1.1 means first semester. B 1.1 suppose I am. Then 1.2 is the second semester. Okay. Then suppose second year 2.1, 2.2. Like that, every language is having some development going on. In Python also, when Rossum has developed Python in Netherlands, that he has started from Version 1, 1.x, 2.x, 3.x. Now Python 3.10, 3.10, that is the latest version. New version is coming in 3.11 and 12. That will be a review version. All that thing is very important to learn. Simply don't learn the things as it is. If suppose I am asking you what is the long form of GUI, everybody will tell me that graphical user interface. But what is the use of that GUI? When I ask you, just tell me the difference between DOS and Windows. Suppose a mechanical, and if suppose a person doesn't know anything about the vehicle, then how the software developer will develop that software? So in that company, what happens? That company has a subject matter expert, that a person who don't know anything about the software, but he is expert in that subject. So that subject matter expert will tell the software guy or software developer that what to develop and how to develop that software. Just like that, you have to learn the C from the bottom and from bottom of your heart. So here, basically when we are talking of that, the name is given before a B language was developed by Ken Thompson. And C is also called a general purpose programming language, as it is a procedure oriented, as it is a structured language, as it is the mother of all languages. And why we say that motherboard? Motherboard means what is the one of the important part of CPU. Everything is connected to your motherboard. Without motherboard, it is not possible. All the incomings and outgoings that is going on there in that motherboard, all your microprocessor chips, integrated all the chips, related environment that is also connected. Input, output, whatever thing that is connected to your motherboard, and that's why it is called as a motherboard. And just like that motherboard, your C language is also called as a mother language. Because with the help of C language, you are developing software, or with the help of C language, you can make your hardware live. It is the most popular language for the device driver. That's why it is called as a mid-level language. Why C is used is because C has a rich set of operators. When I say that, I have to use the C. Why? Why to use? Basically, when C has a rich set of operators, why you are using Oxford Dictionary? If suppose I ask you, you have to enhance your vocabulary, your power of words. There are n number of dictionaries are in the market. But if suppose you have to enhance your vocabulary, everyone is preferring suppose Oxford Dictionary. Why? Because it has a rich set of different words, different phrases. Yes or no? That's why C is being used, widely used, development of even operating system. As most of the kernels have been developed by C language. Even Python basic internal program of kernel written in C language. That's why it is called as a mother of language, mother of all language, mother of all programming language. language. When we say that we have to write the program, we have to start with hash sign. Hash. What is this hash? Yes? Where basically hash symbol is there? You can tell me where basically hash symbol is there? Hash symbol कुठे असतो? 820. Who is 820? Achal Pado. Just tell me where is hash symbol? अरे hash symbol कुठे असतो? Yes? कुठे बघितलं तुम्ही हॅश सिम्बॉल? येस अभिजित.
सर ट्विटरवर जर एखादी चीज ट्रेंड मध्ये असेल तर हॅशचा वापर केला जातो.
नाही ते ट्विटरवर नाही मग म्हणून राहिलो मी. तुमच्या आतापर्यंत तुम्ही जे शिकले बेसिक थिंग तिथे तुम्ही हॅश सिम्बॉल कुठे पाहिला? दॅट इज माय क्वेश्चन. डोंट सी मी ट्विटर और इंस्टाग्राम. That is the different thing. If suppose I have to just type hash. अरे हॅश तुमच्या कीबोर्डवरचं सिम्बॉल आहे ना? का नाहीये?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
There are different symbols on your keyboard. Have you observed that? Numbers from 0 to 9, star, and percent, dollar, hash, @ exclamatory, tilde are the symbols. These symbols have some table in computer library, and under that symbolic table it has got some code, it has got some meaning. Basically this meaning is known to your processor. That is, what is this hash, what is this include, and when I am including this in angular bracket, this is the syntax of C language. Suppose somebody has learned the tag in HTML, that is hypertext markup language. That was hypertext markup language because everything is written in that angular tab. That tags are written. Here in C language, everything you have to start with hash, include in that angular bracket stdio.h. What is the meaning of stdio.h? Remember, it is called as standard input output. .h is called as header file. .h is called as header file. I am not just directly going to the programming. I am just taking the overview that what this preprocessor. When we are writing, then next step is what? Void main, and that bracket, that round bracket. That is round bracket. Ganesh Badar, please mute yourself. So, void main is a main function. Function comprises of a block of a statement. Function comprises of a block of a statement, executable statement, and that is included in this input brace. This is called as input brace. This is called as closing brace. That is called as the start of the segment or end of the segment, or it is also called as the input brace, closing brace. When you are just giving anything input, starting the loop, then you have to use this input brace. This is the main function. Function is having these two rounded brackets, then input brace, then number of statements that are terminated by semicolon. If you are not giving semicolon, then your compiler will just produce error. It will show you that your program has error on that particular line. You have to rectify it. You have to correct it. So this hash is a symbol that is being stored in symbolic table. Include stdio.h is the preprocessor directive, that is standard input output header file, because whatever you have to input and whatever you have to output, first of all you have to write the program for that, because computer doesn't have a brain. Whatever the feeding you are feeding to the computer, on that instructions computer work. Do you know that? Computer works on what? Whatever the instructions you feed to the computer, on that computer works. Computer doesn't have any decision. That decision making computers now, with the help of AI, we have 5th generation computers. But after all, you have to feed the instructions to them. You have to feed the instructions to them. So that is important. When our meeting will end, you have to just rejoin by the same ID. Okay? Meeting will shut down. What is the foundation of any class of English? Spoken English class. Yes? काय असते बरं फाउंडेशन? एखाद्या स्पोकन इंग्लिश क्लासचं फाउंडेशन काय असते?
Grammar.
Who can tell?
Grammar.
Grammar, exactly. That grammar. What is the grammar of English? काय बरं ग्रामर काय इंग्लिश?
Tenses, preposition, articles, degree.
Exactly. That is, what is the subject is there, what is the object is there, what are the adverbs, verbs. Okay. If suppose I am talking with you, it has got subject, it has got object, verb, adverb. So it is making some meaning. So after writing syntax of any language, you have to run that language, you have to execute that. And after execution, whatever you get is called as semantic. It has got some meaningful result. As I have different words and I am framing that word properly. When I am framing the word properly, it forms some sentence. It has got some meaning. It has got some meaning. Otherwise not. So when you got this, basically, then you understand C language. Because when C language or any language, C++ or C Sharp or Java or any Python, it has got some grammar. And that grammar basically is very important. When to learn this grammar? When I have one word, suppose AEC. That AEC is formed with how many characters? Yes. How many characters are there in AEC? How many characters? A is one character, B is E is second, C is third. 3 characters.
3.
Right? If suppose you have to form any word, it requires what? Character. Character forms what? Word. Word forms what? Sentence. Sentence forms the paragraph, and so on. So smallest of small unit of that is what? Character. Along with that character, if suppose I am asking you about your email address, what is included in your email address? That whatever your name, somebody is giving dot, then @ sign is there. Yes, it is there or not? Somebody is giving that ABC dot BY 2001. What is that 2001? Because 0 to 9 is numbers that are using numbers. That means it's a combination of different characters, numbers. It's a combination of alphabets and numbers, alphanumeric, along with symbols. So that makes sense, any sense. Just like that, you have to just type a program in C language. First of all, you have to follow the syntax. That means you have to just start the editor of C language where you are writing that, or online compilers are there. In that you are writing first line as # include in that angular bracket stdio.h. Then void main, somewhere it is written as integer main. That we will see later on. In the input brace, we are writing suppose printf, scanf. Printf is output statement, or printf is output function, as we have written it in the bracket. Whatever thing written in a bracket basically is called as what? It is a printf function, scanf function. Printf is used for displaying output on the screen. Scanf is used to take input from that. All this input and output is written in your stdio.h. That's why we have to include stdio.h. That means what? It is a standard. std means what? Standard. IO means what? Input output. .h means what? Header file. And that header file is known to your compiler, known to your computer, because whatever functions are written in stdio.h, that can be already known to your compiler. That compiler is known to that because programmer has included stdio.h. So you can take whatever the functions under that stdio.h. There are n number of functions under that standard input output header file. That may be number of input and output functions. Every function you can take in your programming. Okay. So before that, you have to learn that what are the things, that how many different data types are there. Because as you know that, if suppose you have to learn Marathi सुद्धा ग्रामर आहे, हिंदीत ग्रामर आहे, उर्दूत ग्रामर आहे, इंग्लिश मध्ये ग्रामर आहे. मग प्रत्येक लँग्वेजला ग्रामर आहे, त्या ग्रामरच्या पहिले तुम्हाला त्याचं काय शिकावं लागेल, प्रत्येकाचं वर्क काय, कम्प्युटरला फीड करताना सपोज यू हॅव जस्ट इनिशियलाइज कॅरेक्टर A is equal to in double quote AEC. That means it is a character. How much byte it takes in memory? Character in C language takes 1 byte. Integer data type takes 2 bytes. But what is the range of the character? Right from minus 128 to 127. What is the range of integer? It is 32,768 to 32,767 minus 32,767. It is a sign. As float takes 1.2 exponential to the power of 10, 1.2 10 raised to power minus 38 to 3.4 10 raised to power plus 38. That is the range of what your float. What is the range of your double is. But how much bytes in memory that takes? That is the 8 bytes. That takes 8 bytes. Float takes 4 bytes. Character takes 1 byte. Integer takes 2 bytes. Like that, you have to remember that what I have to initialize the data. Because computer has no brain. Whatever the data you are feeding, on that data computer works. On that data computer works or not? Yes, computer works on that. So this is important. So when you have to just think of that, this is the important aspect. And its range, if suppose you enter any character A, its range should be minus 128 to 127. Minus 128 to 127. Yes, it is also there. w3school.com is also there. There you can learn. Number of websites are there. tutorialspoint.com, javapoint.com. But before going to that, you have to learn that what is the data types, what are the building blocks of your this language. Okay, when you know that character takes 1 byte, definitely in C language, integer takes 2 bytes, float takes 4 bytes, double takes 8 bytes. Character means any character, small a to z, capital A to z. Integer means what? Any number you form. Float means what? Fractional part, more detailed fractional part, that is of 8 bytes. So that takes different things. That takes what? It takes different things. So when you have an editor, you are writing program in what? Editor. एखादा रेझ्यूम बनवायचा असतो, रेझ्यूम कुठे लिहिता तुम्ही वर्ड मध्ये, परंतु जेव्हा सी लँग्वेजचा एखादा प्रोग्राम करायचा असतो, तुम्ही प्रोग्राम एखाद्या एडिटर मध्ये लिहिलेला आहे. ओके, और एखाद्या कंपायलर मध्ये लिहिणार तुम्ही. दॅट प्रोग्राम इज कॉल्ड एज अ सोर्स कोड. त्या प्रोग्रामलाच काय म्हणतो मी? सोर्स कोड. ज्या काही हाय लेवल लँग्वेज मध्ये प्रोग्राम लिहिणार आहात तुम्ही, ऑल दॅट इज कॉल्ड एज सोर्स कोड. इज नॉट अंडरस्टँडेबल टू कम्प्युटर. कम्प्युटरला अंडरस्टँड राहील का तो सोर्स कोड? येस, नो. दॅट सोर्स कोड इज कन्वर्टेड टू machine understandable code, and that machine understandable code is called as object code. That can be converted to object code. Source code is completely converted to object code with the help of one system software, or you can say that high level language programs written in high level language is not understandable to the computer. That high level language written program is converted to the machine understandable language program with the help of compiler or interpreter. And then your program will be executed. If suppose before compiling or after compiling in your program there are errors there, that errors are called as bugs. How to rectify that bug? You have to follow the syntax, you have to follow the rules. If suppose you have written one program like that, okay, and here instead of writing this, you have written that this semicolon is not written. Or suppose you have not taken this quote, will it work? Or suppose you have not entered this bracket, will it work? Or suppose you have not included this hash sign, will it work? No, because C language has some grammar, and the grammar of C language is called as syntax. Syntax means what? It has hash that is known to the symbol table of your preprocessor. Then we are include stdio.h, that is a header file. After header file, I am just including this is the hash function. Over here I am hash. Then void main. This is the curly bracket. I am closing that. Then this is the input brace. Here every statement in that function should be terminated with semicolon. Otherwise it will give you error. If suppose here you are not given this closing brace, again it will produce error. It will give you error. So everything, everywhere you have to find that what is the structure of C language. That it has to follow some rules, procedure. That every statement in this void main function should be terminated by semicolon. Whatever you have to take in that print, suppose you have taken that, it will display in this bracket as a string. What is the use of the print statement? If suppose you have not written here T, then you simply written as printf. Will it be understandable to your compiler? No. Because compiler knows that printf that is written in this stdio.h. That we have to see step by step in C language. Okay? So, shall I stop over here?